Senior, you must avoid these 4 drinks in the morning if you have diabetes. Every morning, Mr. James sits by the kitchen window holding his favorite blue mug. It's part of his routine. Warm coffee, a slice of toast, maybe a little fruit juice if he's feeling fancy. He's 72 now, living with type 2 diabetes. And like many seniors, he tries to do the right things. Eat better, move more, take his meds. But even with all that, his blood sugar still goes up and down like a roller coaster. He feels tired in the mornings, foggy in the afternoon, and he wonders, what am I doing wrong? Here's the truth nobody tells you. Sometimes it's not what you eat that's causing the problem. It's what you drink, especially in the first hours of your day. And yes, even that innocent cup of coffee, that refreshing juice, that safe diet soda, they can quietly work against you every single morning. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 popular morning drinks that could be silently raising your blood sugar, making you tired, and putting your health at risk. But don't worry. I'll also show you better, safer choices that you can start using tomorrow morning. Because you deserve to feel clear, strong, and in control. Not just today, but for many years to come. Ready? Let's start with the one drink nearly all of us love. Coffee. 1. Coffee. Mr. James, the man we met earlier, never skipped his morning coffee. He used to say, "It's the one thing that makes me feel normal." And who can blame him? That warm smell, that first sip, the way it wakes you up. It's comforting, even joyful. But here's something he didn't know for a long time. It wasn't really the coffee that was causing his blood sugar to spike. It was everything he added to it. You see, plain black coffee by itself has almost 0 calories and no sugar. In fact, it even contains something called chlorogenic acid, which may help slow sugar absorption. But when you pour in sugar, flavored creamers, or half and half, that's when things start to shift. Let's break it down. 1 tablespoon of French vanilla creamer, about 5 grams of sugar. 2 tablespoons, that's already 10 grams. Now add a spoon of sugar, maybe 8 more grams. Before you know it, your cozy cup has over 18 grams of sugar, almost as much as a small candy bar, and you haven't even had breakfast yet. For example, a medium-sweetened latte from a popular coffee shop like Starbucks. That's 25 to 40 grams of sugar, depending on the size. That's more than a can of soda. And you're drinking it at 7 a.m. Now, why does this matter more for seniors? As we get older, our metabolism slows down. Our body doesn't use insulin as effectively as it once did, so even small spikes in sugar, especially in the morning, can leave us feeling tired, foggy, or even dizzy. Worse, those spikes add up over time, and that can lead to serious complications. Mr. James learned it the hard way. After months of thinking he was doing everything right, his A1C levels kept rising. His doctor finally asked, "What are you putting in your coffee?" He was shocked to find out his morning habit was silently working against him. But here's the good news. He didn't have to give it up. He just made a few simple swaps: black coffee with a splash of unsweetened almond milk, sometimes a dash of cinnamon for flavor. Within 3 months, his blood sugar readings improved, and he still got to enjoy that warm mug by the window. It's not always about giving things up. Sometimes it's about understanding what your body really needs and making gentle changes that still bring you joy. Your morning coffee doesn't have to go, but the sugar might. And now, speaking of sweet things we often sip without thinking, let's talk about a Southern favorite that hides a surprising amount of sugar. Sweet tea. 2. Sweet tea. For many folks in the South, sweet tea isn't just a drink, it's a way of life. It's poured at family dinners, served at church events, and offered to guests as a warm welcome. Mr. James grew up in Georgia, where sweet tea was always on the table. His mother made it in a large glass pitcher with heaping scoops of sugar, then chilled it until it was just right. Even now, decades later, he still enjoys a cold glass in the morning with breakfast. It feels familiar, comforting, like home. But as he learned, And as many seniors are beginning to realize, that nostalgic glass of sweet tea might be doing more harm than good. Sweet tea often contains as much sugar as soda, and sometimes even more. A 20-ounce bottle of commercial sweet tea can pack in 45 to 55 grams of sugar. That's around 11 to 14 teaspoons. According to the American Heart Association, the daily recommended limit for added sugars is about 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men. Just one glass of sweet tea can double that in a few sips. And here's the catch. Many people don't realize it because sweet tea doesn't always taste overly sweet. That makes it easy to underestimate just how much sugar you're actually consuming. For seniors living with diabetes, this can be dangerous. As we age, our pancreas produces less insulin, and our cells become more resistant to it. That makes it harder for the body to move glucose from the bloodstream into the muscles for energy. A sugary drink like sweet tea can cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash, leaving you feeling weak, shaky, tired, or even irritable. Over time, repeated spikes like these can lead to serious complications. Diabetic neuropathy, nerve damage causing pain or numbness, retinopathy, which can result in vision loss, kidney damage, or even heart disease. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that older adults who frequently consumed high-sugar beverages had a significantly higher risk of insulin resistance and inflammation, two major contributors to the worsening of diabetes symptoms. And it's not just homemade tea. Bottled brands sold in convenience stores often contain even more sugar and preservatives. A 2020 investigation by Consumer Reports reviewed several popular tea brands and found that some had sugar content rivaling energy drinks, marketed under labels like natural or made with real tea. Mr. James didn't realize this at first. He thought, it's just tea. That's healthy, right? But after checking his blood sugar an hour after drinking it, he was stunned to see a spike of over 70 points. That one glass of tea, something he'd been drinking daily, had quietly become one of his biggest health setbacks. So what did he do? He didn't give up tea completely. Instead, he switched to unsweetened black tea and added a slice of lemon or a dash of cinnamon for flavor. Some days he brews green tea, which is packed with antioxidants and known to support healthy glucose metabolism. According to a review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, green tea may help improve insulin sensitivity and lower fasting blood sugar levels when consumed regularly. He still drinks his tea cold, still pours it into that same old glass pitcher. But now, it's a version that supports his body, not works against it. That's the thing about living with diabetes. It doesn't mean giving up everything you love. It just means making smarter choices and staying curious about what's really in your cup. Small swaps, repeated daily, can lead to big changes. And when your energy, focus, and health all start to improve, you'll know it's worth it. If you're finding this helpful so far, make sure to tap that like button. It helps more people like you find this important information. And if you're someone who's ready to take small, simple steps toward better health every day, consider subscribing, because the next tips might be exactly what your body's been waiting for. Now, let's keep going and take a closer look at one drink that's often seen as healthy, but might be the sneakiest sugar bomb of them all. 3. Fruit juice. When Mrs. Ellen turned 68, she decided it was time to take her health more seriously. She started walking every morning, cut back on desserts, and even switched her soda for something she thought was much better: a small glass of orange juice with breakfast. It reminded her of her childhood, when her mother would pour juice into little glasses and place them on the breakfast table with warm toast. It felt like a healthy, comforting choice. But not long after starting this new habit, Ellen began noticing something odd. She'd feel lightheaded by mid-morning, sometimes even shaky. Her energy dropped fast. Her blood sugar readings, which had been stable, suddenly started creeping higher, despite her healthier meals. She couldn't figure out why, until her dietitian asked one simple question: "Are you drinking juice?" Even juices labeled as 100% natural or no sugar added can contain as much or more in sugar than a can of soda. The problem is that juice removes one of the most important parts of fruit, fiber. When you eat an orange, the fiber slows down how quickly the sugar enters your bloodstream. But when it's juiced, that fiber is stripped away, leaving a concentrated hit of sugar that floods your system. A 125 milliliter, 4-ounce glass of orange juice contains roughly 13.6 grams of sugar and almost no fiber. By comparison, one small orange has similar sugar, but includes 2 to 3 grams of fiber, which helps reduce the spike in blood glucose. This difference matters. According to Harvard Health Publishing, even pure fruit juice causes a faster and higher spike in blood sugar than eating the fruit itself. And the American Diabetes Association recommends that people with diabetes avoid fruit juice altogether, especially in the morning when blood sugar levels are already naturally elevated. And it's not just orange juice, grape juice, apple juice, even green juices that sneak in sweet fruits, all of them can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar per cup and no fiber. Some brands even add extra fruit concentrates, making the sugar load even worse. What happens when this becomes a daily habit? It creates what many call a blood sugar roller coaster. First, the juice causes a spike in glucose. The body responds with insulin to bring it down quickly. A few hours later, the blood sugar crashes, leaving you tired, foggy, or reaching for a snack to recover. Over time, this pattern can lead to increased insulin resistance, weight gain, and difficulty managing your diabetes, even if everything else in your diet seems clean. That's exactly what happened to Ellen. Her doctor helped her adjust by replacing morning juice with a glass of water and a side of whole fruit, like half a grapefruit or a handful of berries. She also tried making green smoothies at home, using leafy greens, a few chunks of avocado, and one small piece of fruit to keep things balanced. After just a few weeks, her energy stabilized, and so did her blood sugar. Natural sugar is still sugar, and without fiber it hits fast and hard. So if you're reaching for juice each morning, it might be time to rethink what healthy looks like. And now, let's turn to a drink that often fools us the most, not because of what it has, but because of what it claims it doesn't. Calories. Diet soft drinks. 4. Diet soft drinks. For over a decade, Mr. Harold believed he had cracked the code. After being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in his early 60s, he made some tough changes. He gave up cookies, cut back on bread, and instead of sugary soda, he proudly switched to Diet Cola. Every single day with lunch. No calories, no sugar. What could go wrong? He often said. But as the years went by, Harold noticed something unsettling. Despite his careful eating and consistent medication, his blood sugar levels weren't improving. In fact, his A1C was rising. He was gaining weight, especially around the belly, and sometimes craved sweets more than ever before. At first, he blamed it on aging, but a deeper look revealed something surprising. His daily diet soda might have been part of the problem. While diet soft drinks contain no sugar and no calories, recent research suggests they may not be as harmless as they seem. A 2018 study published in Current Diabetes Reports found that artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose, common in diet sodas, may alter the gut microbiome, disrupting how the body processes glucose and increasing insulin resistance over time. Another large-scale study from the University of Adelaide tracked over 600 people with diabetes and found that those who consumed more than 4 cans of diet soda per week were twice as likely to develop diabetic retinopathy, a serious eye condition that can lead to vision loss. So how can something with 0 calories lead to these kinds of outcomes? It comes down to how the brain and body respond to artificial sweeteners. These sweeteners trick the brain into expecting sugar, which can increase cravings for actual sweets and ultra-processed foods. Some people also fall into the diet drink trap, thinking that because their drink has no calories, they've earned the right to indulge elsewhere, with chips, pastries, or larger portions. Harold found himself falling into that same cycle. He'd drink diet soda at lunch, and by mid-afternoon, he'd crave a snack, usually something sweet. At first, he couldn't connect the dots. But when his dietitian suggested cutting back on diet drinks, he gave it a try. Over the course of a week, he replaced his lunch soda with sparkling water and lemon. By the end of the week, his afternoon cravings had subsided. He felt more stable in his energy. It was a small change, but it opened his eyes. Other options he tried include herbal iced tea, naturally flavored water, and unsweetened kombucha, drinks that provide flavor and refreshment without confusing his body. The truth is, the label may say diet, but that doesn't mean safe, especially if you're drinking it every day. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, long-term consumption of artificially sweetened beverages has been linked to weight gain, metabolic syndrome, and a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, even though they don't contain sugar. So here's the lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous habits are the ones that seem the most innocuous. A drink that promises to be sugar-free can still change the way your body works, especially when it's part of your daily routine. And the good news? You don't have to give up flavor. Just choose smarter ways to hydrate, ways that support your health instead of silently working against it. So there you have it. 4 common morning drinks that might seem harmless, even comforting, but can quietly work against you if you're living with diabetes, especially in your golden years. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sugar, artificial ingredients, and hidden carbs that can spike blood sugar and lead to serious complications down the line. That's why it's so important to take an honest look at what's in your cup each morning. Whether it's sweet tea, fruit juice, coffee with loads of sugar, or even diet soda, making small, mindful changes to your routine can have a big impact on how you feel. Not just today, but for the months and years ahead. You deserve to wake up feeling strong, clear-minded, and in control of your health. And that starts with making choices that support your body, not work against it. If you found this video helpful, or if you know someone else who could benefit from it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more simple, trustworthy tips on living well with diabetes. Your health matters, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Thank you for watching our video today. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe button to support us. We truly appreciate you support, and it will motivate us to continue make more information video to help you all. Thank you, and goodbye.